Alrighty, welcome to my video. Today we are going to be discussing some of the monetization behind content creation. I've put together a PowerPoint presentation for you all. I'm very excited for this. I'm actually doing this for one of my college classes. This is my political science class, visual politics to be specific. This is for Dr. Silva, and this is part of our final. But we're talking about if playing video games is a potential career or not, and kind of what that looks like more in depth. We're going to be using some numbers that are raw examples from my experience with content creation, and then we're going to explore a little bit into a little bit bigger known name in the content creation industry. So get us started. My name is Dorian Hendricks, also known as DZ Orion H on the internet, and yeah, we're gonna get right into it. So, is playing video games a career? So this is just a little slide talking about how people can make money through different platforms and how content creators can kind of expand and kind of do different things to monetize themselves. So there's multiple ways to monetize themselves. I have that here, and they can make it through companies like Twitch and YouTube. So those are two different platforms. Some people use one more than the other. I tend to use Twitch a lot more than YouTube. I'm only monetized on Twitch, actually. I'm not monetized on YouTube. It's a little bit harder process to get monetized on YouTube. But those are like the two big ones that people utilize a lot to monetize themselves. There's also other platforms. You got your Twitter, Instagram, some other things like that that you can make money through. Not as easily, but you kind of use those platforms to promote your Twitch and your YouTube. So our second example of how people monetize themselves are contract deals with companies. So that kind of ties into the third one as well with the sponsorships. Sponsorships are a really big way that mid to high tier streamers bring in a little bit more revenue through streaming. But contract deals with companies does not necessarily mean just sponsorships. So that can also mean like other companies I'm trying to think of how to exactly word this. So there's like pro teams and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of people that make a living off of being a professional player in a certain game, and they'll make a contract deal with that company. There's esports teams. There's a lot of other things. There's content creator teams. There's a lot of like the big teams out there that many of like my content creators would know about, that you can also profit off of. So we also have our paid promotions, which is where like Twitter and Instagram kind of come into play a little bit. You can kind of promote things through there, and then your own personal merchandise, which is actually a really good way to grow, especially once you get a dedicated community. So another thing that is really important when trying to monetize yourself and generate more revenue is being consistent and having really good quality in your content. So like I said here, they are major keys to being successful. Being able to provide good quality content is vital, and so is good graphics and branding. Those are really important things overall. Those are definitely things that are taken more serious as you grow as a content creator. When you first start off, you're probably not going to have the best branding, probably not going to have the best graphics, but that's one of the things that you kind of have to improve on. And then this is another kind of key on being consistent. Being able to upload, stream regularly is very important in your growth, and especially in generating revenue for yourself. So here I wrote out the 6 keys to content creation. We have our consistency, networking, branding, goals, building a dedicated community, and reflection. So like I just said in the previous slide, consistency is the biggest thing when it comes to content creation. Being able to stream, upload multiple times a week, and regularly with good quality content. I mean, that's quite literally what content creation is, being able to do that consistently. That's where you're going to see the most growth. You're going to see the most retained viewership and all, which is very important. So second off, we have networking, which is where you kind of go from being that smaller streamer to a bigger streamer, or a smaller YouTuber to a bigger YouTuber, for example. Networking you can do really effectively on multiple social media platforms. That's why it's so important to utilize different things like Twitter and Instagram. And there's even other things. There's like Discord. Trying to think. There's other streaming services as well. But like, it's really good to be known on multiple platforms. And it will really help you on whatever platform you're trying to focus on your growth. So our next one is branding, and I kind of mentioned that a little bit. And branding is what you're known as. It's not just what your graphics are. Your branding could be your personality. It could be what you put out on social media. It could be what you stream. Say I'm a 100% Fortnite streamer. That is all I'm ever going to stream, never going to stream anything else. My branding is Fortnite. That is what I'm going to brand myself off of. Now, if I'm a variety streamer, I have a little bit more open branding. I can do a little bit more. I can kind of expand what I want to do. I can still have great graphics and all. But like I said here, style of content, what you put on social media, like what kind of things you put out there. So for me personally, I'm kid friendly on all platforms. I do not cuss on my streams. I do not cuss on Twitter. Do not cuss on anything. I make sure to put out more positive stuff. And I don't want to turn away those younger viewers or younger followers on social media platforms because I curse too much. And I do follow people that curse on Twitter, and sometimes it kind of looks bad on their branding when every other tweet you see by them has multiple curse words in it. It's not attractive branding in my eyes to do stuff like that. So under our fourth key is goals, and this is a big one that I have kind of embraced more recently. You can kind of see back behind me I have a big whiteboard, and that's where I write my goals on actually for streaming, and that has helped me a lot, honestly. And setting a list of goals to help me track my progress has been very important. This last month we actually hit a few of our goals, and I'm super excited about that. And that means for this upcoming month we will just have to set higher goals, and for the goals that I didn't hit, I'm going to leave those the same. So this is definitely a very good thing to embrace once you get to that medium level of following, and like once you start developing a little bit more. Like, I'm not saying goals aren't good for lower tier streamers, but definitely learn to embrace them and use them a lot more. So 5 here we have is our dedicated community. And this kind of goes both ways. So to content creation, you have to be able to build a dedicated community, but you also have to be able to give back to that community as well. And that, like I said, that goes both ways. So when I was talking about branding, I mentioned being a game-specific streamer or a variety streamer. Being a game-specific streamer, you're likely going to have more of a dedicated community because they're going to follow you for that particular game. Now, if you're a variety streamer, it's not going to matter what you stream. Those people are going to want to watch you for you. They're going to want to be in your stream because that it's you. It's not because of what game you're playing or whatever. And if you're able to get to the point in your streaming career where you can build a dedicated community like this, that will help you significantly. So once you feel like you have done 1 through 5, at least made an attempt towards them, do number 6. It is a very important thing. Reflect on what you have done. Take time to see what you can improve on. And my biggest advice is ask other people. So there are people in my dedicated community that I have built over the last 1.5 to 2 years of streaming that sometimes if I'm not so happy with something, I will reflect on it. And I will ask them, hey, how do you feel about this? Did you like what I did here? No, you didn't? How can I improve? You have to find ways of improving, and that is one of the major keys to being a good content creator is improving. And I don't have it listed, but that is kind of in the middle of everything. Being able to improve your content, being able to be more consistent, do things more often. Reflection is definitely one of the bigger things that I would say when it comes to content creation. So this is how Twitch monetization works. So sorry about this image. It may be a little bit blurry, but I'll kind of break it down a little bit. So there's 4 main ways that Twitch does their monetization. They do bits, subscriptions, ad revenue, and donations. And bit subscriptions and ad revenue is all done through Twitch. Donations is done through an outside source like Streamlabs or another streaming service like that. But this can go directly to your PayPal. These others, so bits, for example, and I have it listed here, 1 bit is 1 cent. This is Twitch's form of currency. And I see bits used fairly often, but it's definitely not the most used. So then we go on to subscriptions, which there are different forms of subscriptions. There's Prime subs, which you get 1 free every month if you have Amazon Prime. You have a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3. And a tier 1 is $5, and you unlock certain emotes, and there's other things that you can unlock as well. Tier 2 is $15, and tier 3 is $25. And the tier 2 and tier 3 just have more emotes, honestly. And then there's also ad revenue. And ad revenue is it's pretty minimal, honestly, for the most part, but it's just revenue generated by people clicking on your stream and seeing those ads. So another little thing about subscriptions is for affiliate streamers, that cost of that subscription is cut half between Twitch and the streamer. So if I was to subscribe for $5 to a random streamer, that random streamer would get $2.50 of it, and Twitch would get $2.50 of it. So expanding the brand, this is another important thing when trying to figure out how your monetization works. So you have your streaming and uploading, money made through Twitch or YouTube alone. And I only list these two, but there are other streaming services and other platforms. And then you also have your sponsorships, which are a little bit more towards like your mid-tier streamers. Different companies look to sponsor content creators to push their product. And then you also have merchandise, which is a great way to for your dedicated community to kind of buy into your branding and support you a little bit. So this is actually my revenue for March 2020. I broke it all down for you all. This is kind of controversial. I really thought about doing this or not doing it, and I ended up doing it just so I can give you all a clear example of what my monetization looks like, and kind of like what it looks like for like a smaller to mid-tier streamer. So I had my $26.30 through paid subs. I had 35 cents through ads. I had $69 made through gifted subs. I had $9.93 bits and $96 in donations. And I had streamed for 42 hours and 6 minutes this month, and that would equal about to $4.08 or 80 cents an hour. So not the best, not the worst. In total, I made $200 streaming on Twitch this month, which I'm very blessed for, honestly. Like, I've worked really hard to get to this point, and I'm definitely not where I want to be. But this kind of shows you, like, realistically, I had streamed probably about 10 hours a week, and if I was able to make $200 streaming 10 hours a week, that's not bad. Definitely nowhere near full-time. Full-time would be 40 hours every week. But yeah, so this is just kind of breaking down. I also only make money through Twitch. I don't have any other monetization form. So now we're going to get into top tier content creators, and we're going to primarily focus on the one and only Tim the Tatman. So Tim is an internet personality that is arguably one of the biggest Twitch streamers ever. I love Tim. He's an awesome guy, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this about him, because I really care about him. He's a really cool guy, and he's done a lot for Twitch and a lot for his community. So I kind of broke down his income as much as I could. There's a lot that is not known or like very estimated. So these numbers are all somewhat accurate, but not very precise. So it is estimated that his net worth is to be around $6.5 million. And then I also have like his Twitch revenue here, and this is per month. And I had forgotten to write that on here, but this is for the month of March. He had in total, I want to say it was 51,000 subscribers, which is absolutely wild, honestly. Yeah, so he had just shy of 30,000 Prime subs. Then he had about 16,000 Tier 1 subs, and then he had some... There wasn't very much here. There was only like a few hundred of the Tier 2 and Tier 3. But an estimated total sub revenue for the month of March of $180,000. Just off of subs, does not include bits, donations, ad revenue or any of his sponsorships, any of his YouTube stuff. Also, he's likely to have a deal with Twitch that increases his cut to a revenue of $3.5 instead of $2.5 per sub. His YouTube, there's not much known. Revenue for YouTube is very hard to track, and there's no set method behind it. But he does post every single day, and he likely has an editor that he pays to edit all of his videos, and he pulls about 200,000 views per video, and it also has 2 million subs. Like I said, uploads every day. So these are all estimated. Do not take those into consideration. These are a list of his sponsors. Razer, which is a really big company, and then he has NZXT, which is like a PC building company, and then he has Audio Technica and LG. So these are my 3 tiers of content creation. We have our beginners, our mid tiers, and our top tiers. Here's just some of the information. I'm not going to read it all to you all. I've kind of gone through it, and there's definitely in-betweens. It's not like you're one or the other. Some people may be a beginner in streaming full-time, and this is their only way of making money due to some unknown reason. Or somebody may be mid-tier and has a very dedicated community, or focuses on a single social media platform but is a top tier at it. There's definitely a lot of in-betweens here. This is just some of the information that I listed of like characteristics that make you towards that tier of streamer. So I appreciate you all watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a ton of fun to make. Here's a list of my social medias. This is me. Yeah, like I said, I really appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to watch my video, and hopefully Dr. Silva gives me an A on this project. I could really use a good A on my final project. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and have a great rest of your day.